bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. Well, the off-season is in full swing. We got news coming in. Well, not really big news, but I was going to address the Joe Judge situation about how he speaks about the Eagles disrespecting the game and how he would never do that. And, I'm not even going to get into that because, honestly, you don't lose to Dallas. You don't lose to the Eagles. You don't lose the Tampa game. You don't need to worry about this game. You controlled your own destiny. You lost 3 in a row. And that's the end of that. Other news that have come out is Jason Garrett is being requested to interview, or I should re-say that. The LA Chargers are requesting the Giants permission to interview Jason Garrett. I had mentioned, when did I mention this? I mentioned this a couple times that I felt that Garrett was going to be one and done with the Giants, that he was going to parlay the situation into another head coaching position. Might not have been in the pros, could have been in college. But I kind of had a feeling that he was just using this season as a leap board to stay into the league. And it looks like he said he's going to get his first interview. And I think that the league itself understands the situation of the Giants, of course, more than the fans do. The fans do not see everything that goes on behind the scenes with Jason Garrett and the offense. They see the results on the field, but they also don't look at some of the things that cause the results, like missed tackles and drop passes and missed assignments and missed reads. So you can't fully blame the offense because of Jason Garrett, just like you cannot fully blame the offense for Daniel Jones. So, it'll be curious to see what happens. I'm not saying he's getting the job in LA, but you know what? It's interesting that he did receive the request, and I think it'll be the first of a couple. So, but I wanted to get into something right now, and it's the $20 million question about Leonard Williams. I did a video December 26, 2 years ago, that said that I spoke to someone in Leonard Williams' camp that said that he was looking for Aaron Donald money. And I took crap for, a good 4 months that, that's not true. That's not what he's looking for. And then when he didn't want to sign the contract and he complained about the tag, you kind of knew he wanted more than the $16 million that he was getting. And now, of course, it's coming out again that he had a good season and now he wants Aaron Donald money again. And now there's a bandwagon of people saying that we need to pay him. We need to pay him. I'm going to tell you right now, I would not pay Leonard Williams. Leonard Williams, if you look at this, can't look at just one season. And we're going to compare him to Aaron Donald in a minute, but you can't just look at one season. You have to look at the totality of his career. We have to look at the other 5 seasons before that. I mean, his best season was 7 sacks in 2016, and when he made the Pro Bowl, with 68 tackles, 19 quarterback hits. And then after that, he went 2 sacks, 5 sacks, and a half a sack. So you have to look at the totality of the career. You can't just give this guy $20 million off of one good season with 11 and a half sacks. Yes, and I understand he's 26 years old. I understand he wants to be listed as a defensive end so he can get paid more instead of being a defensive tackle, but he's basically a defensive tackle. If we want to break it down, that's basically what he is. And he's not even a player that plays, and we've mentioned this before, he plays barely 75% of the time of the plays. Blake Martinez, Logan Ryan, James Bradbury, Peppers. These guys play 100% of the snaps. And that's what you have to look at. You have to look at the fact that you are going to take 8 to 10% of your cap and invested it in a player who's had one good season, who's played in 95 games and has 29 career sacks. And now if we compare that, of course, to Aaron Donald played one more year to Leonard Williams. He's played in 110 games and has 85 sacks. I mean, think of it that way. And then people will say, well, you got to look at the quarterback hits. Okay, he's got 131 hits to 199 for Aaron Donald. Okay, I mean, are we seeing a trend yet? And then you gotta say, well, you gotta look at the tackles for losses. Leonard Williams has 48 career. Aaron Donald, 131. And then you look at, I mean, it's dumbfounding to me that fans are just to the point where we want to just throw money at this guy for 1 year, for one good season. I have no problem letting him walk because I feel like that we need to sign Dalvin Tomlinson. Right now, if you need another linebacker, Blake Martinez had a fantastic year. And the players that protect Blake Martinez on that front are Dalvin Tomlinson and Dexter Lawrence. And in some regards, Austin Johnson when he's in the game. They slow down the running back getting into the second level. That Blake can turn around and make the play. They're causing that disruption. Now, Dalvin Tomlinson does not have the gaudy stats, but he serves a meaningful purpose in the game for this team. And in some ways, him and Dexter Lawrence are more meaningful than Leonard Williams. Leonard Williams, 5.5 of his sacks came in 2 games. I mean, did we just forget that? And then he disappeared in the Arizona, Cleveland, and Baltimore game. He had 4 solo tackles in those 3 games and 1 tackle for a loss. You know, those are the big games that we needed him to step up. Yes, Dallas was a big game. He had a great game in Dallas. But I am not giving someone $20 million because they had a good game in Dallas. And we played and beat a bad Dallas team. I can't. I mean, you look at his game logs. He had 1 sack, no sack, 1 sack, no sack, no sack, 1 sack, no sack, sack, no sack. And then he had 2 sack games in a row, and then he had 3 no sack games. He's not consistent enough. And he's not a defensive end. We need a pure pass rusher. Plain and simple. And like I said, if you look at the percentages of plays that he's in, I mean, he's in the highest percentage that he played for the season was 84% of the snaps, which was in week 6 versus Washington. Other times he played 65, 69, 67, 70, 70, 71, 69, 71, 78, 75. And then he played a second season high against Dallas at 83. He's got to play more. You have to be on the field more if you're going to be disruptive. You take a look at his counterpart who we're talking about. He's played in 92%, 91%, 90, 86, 85, 90, 90, 89, 86, 85, 87, 85, 83. Aaron Donald's on the field most of the time. And now, of course, he's old. He's 3 years older than Leonard, so he's not going to probably have the stamina that Leonard should have. But they talk about Leonard being a high motor guy, but he can't get on the field. He needs to be on the field at least 90% of the snaps. If you take a look at Aaron Donald, he was on the field 90% of the snaps 4 times this year. If you count him in the 80s, he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. So he's on the field the majority of the time. That's why he's the disruptive force that he is. I am not going to take my cap space, which is probably going to go down, and invest it in a guy who had 1 good year. Because we've seen too many players who've had 1 excellent season, and then went in the tank the next year because they got their contract. And you also, and there's some people, you have to also mention the fact that a lot of times, especially with NFL players, their peak year is 27 years old, 27 to 28. And so in that logic, Leonard Williams should be coming into his peak. But I can't see investing this much. Even if Nate Solder retires and we get rid of Zeidler and we dump Tate, I can't see putting $20-something million 3 years guaranteed, because it's going to be guaranteed. So he's probably going to get like 30. He's probably going to want 36 guaranteed over a 5-year contract at $22 million a year. And that's ridiculous for a guy who's had one really good season. And it's always that you always have to be careful because you always have those guys that have that good season during the contract year. And that's what we need to be careful about. That's what we need to focus on for Leonard Williams, because you know what? We have to make sure that we understand that this is a team sport, and we have a lot of holes to fill. We really do. And we have a lot of holes that we need to keep thinking about and finding ways to improve the defense. Another thing is, think about it this way. Leonard Williams, how many forced fumbles does Leonard Williams have in his career? You'll probably be shocked to know he doesn't have that many. He's forced 3 fumbles in his career. And if you compare that to Aaron Donald has 19 forced fumbles. So he's creating turnovers. Aaron Donald has had a forced fumble at least one every season since he's been in the NFL. Leonard Williams has had, he had 2 forced fumbles in 16, 1 in 19. We had 1 for the Jets in 19. Well, no, that's it. No, I said he's only got 3 forced fumbles. He had 2 in 1 year and 1 in 19. So he's not creating turnovers. And I don't want to hear again, like I said, he's the king of the almost sack. We need to play. We have to be smart with our cap space. We have to think ahead. We need an actual edge. We need another linebacker, and we need a CB2. That's what we need. And that's what we need on offense. On defense. On offense, well, that's just a bird of another color. And we'll get into that to another day. But again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you could subscribe, if you're ringing that bell, I think you know what that means, that'd be awesome.